So, all right, we're going to start off with the HPS watch list. I'm going to give that one best bet out, and then we're going to switch it over. But I was just talking about the PSA. Public storage, multiple time frames, all lining up. Really nice. Really kind of a decent-looking chart. I mean, very organized. It has a good way about it. You know, you don't want to be too overconfident in any setup. You never want to, bet the farm on it either. But it does look good. The daily is set up here perfectly. If you wanted just to trade a daily, the flag in the daily and the kind of yesterday's candle was pretty nice. We're just about oversold. You could trigger off this. It's also kind of a small little retracement trend line area we continue to come back down to. The daily here, but now we start to look at the weekly. The weekly here is actually turned back up, and we haven't turned over. I mean, we kind of stalled out last week. To this week, we're not doing much, but we still have that momentum to the upside. Definitely have the upside momentum. If anything, maybe this thing can start to catch on fire the next couple of days. That's what I like about it. I like that the daily is now set up. The weekly is bullish. And then the 60-minute time frame, that was okay this morning, and that's what we got, or yesterday when that was set up. That was the last time it was set up. We had a nice drive. Now we're kind of just drifting here, but we're going sideways, which I like. So we kind of pointed out that we have this positive price stochastic divergence. Normally you're going to see that downward movement with the stochastic rotation. In this case, we're going sideways, and this is rotating. There's a good chance this pushes back up and this rally is out of here. So there's a couple good signs here. I don't like the VIX anymore, Lem. I used to get it thinking that I could time that well. I put Lem in the stock, not the VIX. And I could actually, hold on. Where is it? We'll just look at the index, the VIX index, because the ETF even is the VXX. Yeah, it's broken. It's whatever it is. It's just it does not work. It does not work. And I'm not even going to try to make it work. Not going to try the opposite trade, looking for a home run on this. When that day comes, and we know something's hitting, something's hitting the fan, then we could see how it's reacting. But right now, it looks like a death march. The lower, they'll reverse split it. Or whatever they do to these things once they go down to nothing. So I have no opinion on the VIX right now. But PSA, there's it's a nice look to it. Very nice look to it. Love to get that pop out of here. Storage, big fan of storage. Why? Because everyone has junk, and they have too much junk. And, it's just you're going to buy more junk. Because it's just so easy now to buy junk. Where are you going to put all that junk? Storage. Continue on here. And again, this is basically our HPS watch list. If it was a Friday, this would be some of these stocks that we'd be liking. I'm going to talk about most of them. Any that need to go up on the charts, we'll make the charts for. Some of these we're already in, that I'm already in. And, some of them we gotten out of. But they still look really good. So the PSA here is one of those. And 250. I'm just barely positive on it, but this is exactly where we got in here around 251 and change. I'm fine with it. Got common shares on this. So let's take a look at this one, Kroger. Kroger's interesting because it came up as a daily rotation. We came out of a larger trend line break. So this is our first rotation. It's what we call the channel line or trend line break, 180 rotation. Stochastic rotates down 180 degrees, halfway down. And at that point, we usually get a nice bounce. And that's where we are right now. We're down here on that 3640 line, 50 period moving average. Kroger on the daily looks boring overall. But we're just looking at this daily rotation, short-term trade to the upside. Hourly is a little extended, and the weekly also kind of extended. So you're just dealing with the daily on this one, and I don't see myself getting into this one. But I wanted to show you how this is what we call an HPS channel breakout stochastic rotation setup. It's a video in the playbook section, and it's just about this type of setup.
ES trade on oversold.
Darden Restaurants here. The weekly on this looks good. It started to get down oversold. It's not often that the Darden Restaurants comes down on the weekly, so you can look very easily back at the weekly here, 2013, the weekly here. All of them had some follow through. This one was the biggest one, of course, the big rally, and then we got down oversold here, 2015, and then I think we got oversold here. We had a nice 4 or 5 week rally. We're just getting back down there. And, that's one thing I'm liking. I like that weekly is going to be on our side soon. If we start to turn back up, this you could even put an argument of being a big cup, a handle, and it's kind of a second handle. The bigger picture. The daily doesn't look as good. So that's why the weekly, I think, is you have to look at that weekly. Even if it came down here, I think the weekly eventually is going to play out on this. I don't see myself getting into this, though. DRI. Gilead, G-I-L-D, in this. And so it's a divergence. It is working. Divergence actually is working. We're kind of breaking through this trend line. It's kind of stalled out the last couple days. But with that stall out, as you can see, we've just been chopping around side. We started off today oversold. And we made some good moves on this. Got something in my eye here. Let's get my eye resume here. So we're into Gilead, and the daily, again, is rotating back down, but we're seeing that sideways consolidation. So I'm considering this a little positive divergence, price divergence. I like the pullback, holding above that trend line, which has been a tough one to get through. We gapped down to it, pushed up against it, chopped up. Now we're holding it. I think we're going to go higher. Weekly here looks pretty strong. I mean, it's not the best setup, but I definitely like it because, if we look back at where this stock has come from, it looks like we could definitely get a little bit further, get back up to that 90 range. I don't think there's going to be an issue with this one. Now, this one here I continue to add to, Fastenal. Now, Fastenal came out with earnings, and they kind of got beat down here. We went to a 5 to 7 day pullback. The 7th day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Today is the 7th day. We actually had a kind of an outside day. It had a nice start off. It had a nice candle here brewing, a nice hammer that we took out the lows, and we closed high, but we didn't close at the highs. We just closed back down at positive, but definitely not that big reversal candle. But we did take out the lows. I mean, I think that's important. We're still oversold on the daily. I like that. The weekly here, I actually like that, as they were actually starting to kind of put in this little divergence. We kind of spiked lower, this candle lower than this candle, but this didn't turn over. So I would expect maybe we get any big green candles or these bullish candles. I would say that might be a big change. Any type of big candle here, I would look for a breakout and continue to push this long position. Now that's a different, that's kind of an interesting candle to look for because it doesn't show up that often on this. But that would really confirm this candle actually was nice. We got a bounce and then it fell back down, took out the lows. I would say if we get another one it would react much better. We'd probably get some good follow through on this. This would really confirm, and we'd really break out of this area. So I don't know how fast that's going to happen, but we have 2 more days in this week to correct this candle fast. We could do it, but it might wait till next week. But I think if we continue to watch this real close and look for that bigger reversal candle, I think you're going to get a nice move out of here. Bad news is behind it. That's the weekly. Weekly's strong. Daily here is just oversold. It's in a recognizable pattern. Everything looks good. I think that weekly could really scream. So, we got that one. Now, BCR came up today on my scans. BCR, and it's just because it's been such a strong stock. Last time we looked at it was back here 2016, early 2016. We're basically off of this 1, 2, 3 channel and the oversold stochastic. It's just a good example of what we, the basics. Now that's the basics. You see a 1, 2, 3 channel and your price comes down to it and you're oversold like this, and it seems very clean, and you have a reversal candle. All those add up here to be usually the best entries. Now, I just happen to be seeing that. I'm not the first time I'm looking at this, so I must have, been marking this off back last year. I haven't looked at this stock since. But, seeing how strong the rally has been and seeing how fast this pullback has come, it's been embedded up here. It's been very strong. We're talking about a very strong rally is when you start to cross back up. You don't make that full rotation. Now you did. You made that first time full rotation. My, inclination is that we're going to get a bounce off of that. I don't know if this is a sign of weakness overall. Is the topping pattern going to play out here? 60-minute here is not set up properly. But if we could turn back up on the 60, that would be much better. Even if you want to go down there, and that's, again, if we start to turn this back up, it looks really good. It seems like that's what it wants to do. I mean, there's not much else that you can look at. That's a great looking stock. AWK is another one. And again, it's the same situation. Look at this strong rally. A couple days pulling back, a nice rotation here. It didn't leave you any time to get back on board. So you have another rotation here, and it's on that 20-period moving average. So, it's another situation where you're going to get that same return. It's once in a million. Yeah, I'm not saying once in a million. There is times when you get down there and it chops around too much, or you feel like you want to get that confirmation first. I understand that. I have no interest in this one myself right now. CLX. This is a little bit more interesting. Decent, again, pullback, but a nice fast rotation. These are on the daily, and I didn't check the weekly here, which is kind of extended. I'd be a little bit more concerned on that weekly. The daily here, I just wanted to show you the daily flag with the daily rotation. So put it on your list if it's interesting, but I'm not interested in it. MIGL. I have this one. Oh, I see. This came up as a divergence, and I could see it. I could see a pretty nice divergence. Never traded this one before. It's $2.25. I wouldn't recommend it. I didn't even realize the price on it. So, but there you have it. There's a little divergence there. If you want to check up on it in a week, see where it is, I'll circle it. I don't know if we can even remember what it was. We'll park that there. We'll say we're going to put it here. So cross that off. I don't like that. So Yahoo, I think we all making money on Yahoo now. Finally making money on Yahoo. Yahoo's again, that's going to have some news. Rumors out there. The word is out that decision will be made before the end of, I thought they said the end of July, but maybe it was the end of August, or maybe beginning of August. But it doesn't leave much time. I mean, nothing came out in the earnings report, but it was good. It was good that the price here they held on pretty good. Today was a nice grind up today. We took profits, and then actually I bought some more Yahoo and out a little further. So I am expecting this here to get my personal thoughts. I think there's, as they say, maybe there's 5 bidders for the core business. I don't know how they're playing this. Is it, everyone gets to put in, or do they get to have a bidding war? But I see this Yahoo being bid up here. I think, a lot of people want to say, no, I don't care about Yahoo. But secretly they want it. So once it comes down to like the final negotiations, some of the cards are going to be played, and they're going to say, wait a second, we're not going to let this thing go. We're going to, they're going to bid it up even higher. A bidding war. I see this, I see this over $40. Yahoo. I think this easily gets over $40. Now tomorrow I think we get through 39. That's not a big stretch. So Yahoo's finished, and then we're going to go on here. Motorola Solutions. I have common shares on this, not much, but look at the just look at it. Look at the weekly, actually. Weekly here, big channel underneath. The weekly oversold level, nice push. Oversold level, nice push. Oversold level, nice push. We're back into overnight, so we're starting to push back up. $70, I don't think it's going to be a problem. We get a nice rotation a little bit further. Everything looks good. Don't have to worry about any time decay or anything. MSI here looks really nice. I don't think it's too late for the longer, the longer term trade. This is also a nice kind of wedge pattern breakout, coiled wedge. This seems to be embedded. Might be very positive on that. And the weekly, of course, the weekly. So MSI here looking really good. Boring stock, but a good one. Motorola Solutions looks good. We're making money on it. Aerospace and Defense, Rockwell Collins. What brought this one to my attention? I have W marked off as a weekly setup. And yes, it is. So we have almost kind of a nice little channel. Here's our weekly pullback here. Chopped around a couple weeks. That's the problem with the weekly. Sometimes it's better to have that momentum, or understand, if you have the momentum, if you get a pullback into a weekly, then it's probably a good thing. This was a nice, just rip higher. And then here we're starting to move back up. It looks good. I mean, Rockwell Collins. Here's the last time we we're in this type of channel here. And we got oversold here.
ES Tradeometer oversold.
Kind of busted out and had a nice move. So it's similar, a little similar. It might take a while. Looks like it's starting to move though. It's a pretty similar setup right there. So COL, Aerospace and Defense has been doing well also. I mean, there's LMT. Look how strong that is. That's actually pushing the highs. That's stronger than strong. Raytheon, RTN. Incredible strength right there at the highs here. Just unstoppable. L3 Communications. Unbelievable strength at the highs. I mean, so I want to say that COL, because of the setup here, I like it too. This is another one, and it has that weekly going for it versus like LMT. The weekly is already extended here, so it's something to think about. Home Depot was a great example of those weekly setups. I mean, when you don't get something that rotates back on the weekly, I went over this when the weekly was setting up. I said this is one that you didn't get a pullback since 2013 on the weekly. 2013 on the weekly. It's 2016. It exploded right out of that. It couldn't get enough. It was like, oh, perfect. Perfect setup there, Home Depot. Now CVS, I like this. Starting to go, a little bit higher. It wasn't a divergence where we, here we have a divergence and and the breakout of the channel, which was easy enough. But this one, we don't have a divergence setting up here, but we do have that weekly setting up, and then we have the daily starting to rotate back down. We're inside this bigger pattern. I don't think we come back, retest the lows. I think eventually we find ourselves through this trend line. And the hourly, choppy. Sometimes you get this perfect 60, and then you start to lose it. Eventually it does lose it. But then, again, we could be just setting up on a bigger pattern, which I love to see. I always say that the age of the trend could be really determined by the size of the pullbacks, and sometimes you get very strong pullbacks, very healthy and strong trend, and then the pullbacks get a little bit further, but the trend is still your friend, and it's kind of a middle-aged, and then you have that total flag breakout and roll over and die, and that's your end. That's the end. This is just a bigger flag right now. So that's definitely worth watching. Again, definitely worth watching on that. And then Panera Bread's PNRA. Bingo on this. We nailed it. We did it. And this was a divergence too, and it popped. I think it was an upgrade. We took profits. It's just we did the right thing. It came back down a little. All right, so we'll just go through them real fast. The PSA definitely going to start off leading off on one of the best bets. Fastenal is up there. FAST is definitely up there. Believe it or not, I like the MSI. But it's very slow and boring. But actually embedded on the daily, the weekly here, just starting to move in a bigger pattern. Overall, looks really good. So MSI has to be considered up there. And then PSA, we got that PSA. The CVS hasn't, I just feel like it could go. It also could be a couple more trading sessions here. I don't know if we're going to get down to the lower portion of this channel if we break down. I'm seeing this hug this level. We're really trying to stay up there. And I think tomorrow we definitely see how this reacts. Do we break higher? Or do we kind of pull back down and see if we get back down to that 95 area? That's the only thing I would be a little concerned about because of that one flag that broke down. But I say this flag breaks higher. I'm very happy with the weekly. But that's probably the fourth of the best bets. And then the other ones that we went over today, we're going to let those set up again tomorrow. I'm going to continue to follow through these and add what we need to the final watch list that's going to come out. But this is pretty much a view of things that are setting up going into next week. Remember we had started off with the Market Radar video earlier today, and we're just saying that, hey, everything is pushed up to the limits, but you just can't be a hero here trying to call the top. This market feels strong. It feels like it wants to continue to feed. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. So let me finish that video, send this out to the members. And we continue on with the show, and I'm going to bring this back, and we're going to continue on with some cool stuff right now.